10 Harsh Realities of Dating a Man Who Is Not Financially Stable. Number 1. He won't feel comfortable to commit. When you date a man who is not financially stable, it might take a while for him to want to get married and start a family. Most men are not comfortable getting married if they are still financially unstable. So if as a woman you are already financially stable and ready to get married and have kids, dating a broke guy might delay such a dream from becoming a reality. You might have to wait for him for a couple of years to be financially stable. And even once he is financially stable, there is no guarantee that he will choose to marry you. Number 2. He will borrow from you a lot. When you're dating a man who is not financially stable, be ready to be his sponsor or bank. He will ask you a lot of financial favors. It will even become impossible to do a budget and stick to it because he becomes your unforeseen or emergency expense every month. Number 3. He expects you to borrow him your assets. If you happen to be driving a better car than his, he expects you to take his car while he uses yours. And if you refuse, he gets angry and it affects the mood of the relationship. So you will have no choice but to borrow him. And he might even lie to people that the car is his. Number 4. He gets angry when you refuse to borrow him or remind him to pay. A man who is not financially stable normally gets angry if you refuse to give him or borrow him money. And if you do borrow him, once the time comes for him to repay you, and you happen to remind him, he will get angry. So it is really quite tricky when dating a man with financial problems. Number 5. You'll pay your bills and his bills. When you are dating a man who is not financially stable, know that you will have to pay for all your bills plus some of his bills because his income is never enough. Even if you eventually stay together, he will contribute minimally in the household. Number 6. You make sacrifices in order to accommodate him. When you're dating a man who is not financially stable, you might be forced to make sacrifices in order to accommodate him. You might be someone who likes traveling or eating out, but when you are with him you might be forced to travel less because you know his financial situation, and he might even feel like you spend on luxuries and not needs. Number 7. He might ask you to take out a loan for him. A guy who is financially unstable might already be blacklisted. So he might not be able to qualify for more loans. And he might ask you as his partner to buy him a car or get him a cell phone contract, and he will pay you monthly or to be his surety. But please be careful if your man asks for such a favor from you, it never ends well. Number 8. He's too insecure. Some men who are not financially stable have insecurities. He will always make you feel bad for his financial instability. When you suggest something, he might say that you're disrespecting him or making decisions without him because you earn more than him. He will even be good at manipulating you so that your esteem can be crushed, and such tactics will ensure that you never leave him even if you see that he's not the right man for you. Number 9. He might be using you for money. As much as there are women who are gold diggers, who use guys as tickets out of poverty, there are also men who are gold diggers. So when dating a man who is not financially stable, there is such a risk. You never know if he loves you for real or if he loves you for what he can get out of you. Number 10. You have to be very understanding. As a girlfriend or a wife to a man who is not financially stable, you are expected to be understanding. You must understand that you might never get the kind of gifts that your friends get. Or you might not get that expensive gift for your birthday. You have to settle for what he can afford. So for anything nice that you need, you will have to do it yourself or wait until he can afford it. And if he does something nice for you, you know that before month end, he will borrow money from you. So basically, you end up financing his thoughtful gestures.